Greetings gamers, welcome to part number 52 of my Let's Play Fire Emblem 9 Path of Radiance, and in today's episode I have to deal with Bertram as I am right next to him. And I definitely want that beautiful rune sword for good old Mist, as she will definitely be the best user of that. She's going to have a 41 magical attack with that. I think outside of the S-rank Thunder Tome, it's not possible for a Sage to have that kind of attack power in this game, which is insanity, to say the absolute least. What's crazy to me is that I am pretty well winding down this game. I didn't realize until I had, basically when I finished the last episode, well, wait a minute, I'm just about to finish chapter 26. There are very few chapters after this that need to be done. Yeah, Flame Lance isn't doing anything to that guy. Oh, yeah. I could throw a Flame Lance at this guy, though. Luna is cute because it doesn't work on magic. Daein, a nice level up for you. I'd say nice, but, that wasn't exactly that great. And Titania, ooh, one shot, nice. Don't even need the crit. So not a total waste of that killer axe. Alright, so let's see. Killing Edge. So yeah, I would take him out with the Brave Lance, but I actually think I would prefer to save that for separate occasions. Nice Toronio. Very nice. Killing weapons are a dime a dozen. Yes, you don't get a crazy ton of them in this game, but you get less brave weapons than you do killing weapons, and there is some merit to having a brave weapon, rather. So there is that. I do have to KO this guy basically in a single turn, otherwise he's going to pull out the rune sword and then cause me quite a lot of grief. So Ike could kind of use the experience points, but I don't necessarily know how I'm going to give that to him. I really do not. Very nice. El Thunder will be fine for this mercenary, as Tormod is not necessarily in need of Thoron's mighty power for a lowly sword master. Alright, Toronio. Guess you're sitting this one out. Ike, you can finish off the Sage. Very nice. And as you can see, I'm obviously setting up for a good old chant with Rayson. This is going to be quite the epic turn, as I'm going to be able to finish off Bertram as well as the rest of his forces. They're pretty much all gone except for Mr. Meteor over here. I think he's literally the very last one. Yes. Which is humorous. So this chapter gains a lot of reinforcements throughout, but because I'm completing it so quick, I don't particularly even have to worry about that. Alright. Okay, Bertram. You can go there. Brave Axe. See, that guy has a 4% crit. And I'm not superstitious, but I really don't feel like trusting that. Alright, chant for all four of you. I should very well be able to give Ike the KO here through some various level of means. Alright, El Thunder, I'm hitting twice. Thor on him hitting twice. So how much damage is Ike doing? 9 times 2. Gonna have to use something like the Noble. See, I don't even need another unit to attack him. That's actually kind of funny. It does mean that this is going to be a turn 8 completion. Perish. Perish. So, you're Bertram, are you? Sorry, but I can't perish right now. Me. Kill. What? Kill. Me. Kill. Me. What's going on? Are you mad? He is actually quite mad. Unfortunately, the story behind this guy is a little bit of a spoiler and will be gone through in my Radiant Dawn playthrough. So I'm going to leave it at that. Release. Goodbye, Bertram. That was a decent amount of experience points. I seriously was about to put shit on here for the seas, which is really funny, actually. But that's my turn. Oh, wow, he can actually reach somebody? Impressive. Mr. Meteor Sage, you're actually getting to do something this chapter. And yeah, only a couple of minutes in to this episode, and Ike is able to seize and clear the map. Sir, the enemy troops are fleeing. Shall we give chase? No, let them run. We fought enough today. Get our men inside the fort and give everyone a break. Yes, sir. Castle Crimea. That foreboding music means, yes, I see. So Crimea's won another victory, have they? Well then, send the rest of our troops to Castle Nados as reinforcements. Put General Hayfed in charge, and let him exchange blows with them. Yet, that would leave the capital, protected by only the Imperial Guard. You forget yourself, Knight. I will be here as well. If they defeat Hayfed and make it all the way here, then they are worthy to cross swords with me. I would beg a question, Your Highness. Why do you divide our troops and give the enemy the advantage? It's as if you were... As if I were... What? Go on. It's as if you desire the Crimean army to continue winning and making its way here to you. I'll not deny it. Are you saying that you desire Daein's defeat? No, I am not. If you think through it clearly, Daein will not lose. We had many plans when we started this war. We went through many scenarios, many predictions. But as you know, our predictions have been completely overturned by this gang of rabble. Was that luck, or was it the gap in skill between the individual soldiers? And if it is, aren't you interested in seeing how far they can come? I do not understand. Perfect. Nothing raises my spirits like war. Come, Crimea, let me be the one to consume your noble hearts. Mad King Ashnard for you. Saved. Of all the battles in the war so far, the contest for Fort Pinell is the fiercest to date. And from this horrific clash of weapons and wills, the Crimean army emerges bloodied and exhausted, yet victorious. The prize of Fort Pinell is no small thing, but it is the promise of additional reinforcements from Gallia, and the large Begnion army encamped in Castle Daein that keeps the breath of hope alive in the soldiers' hearts. There is one other pivotal piece in Daein's defense of the former Crimean capital, the severely undermanned Castle Nados. As the day's end draws near, Tibarn's small force of Hawks and Galleons cease their attacks and return to camp headquarters. Chapter 27, Moment of Fate. Well met. From the look of things, the battle ended in our favor. We claimed victory, yet Daein had more troops than we expected, and it was a hard-fought battle. I don't have the best news to report either. What is it? As the day ended, we withdrew as planned, but as we were leaving, reinforcements began flooding in from the capital. There's a piece of ill news. The men that were originally guarding the castle were nothing special, but there was one who appeared mid-battle and crushed an entire unit by himself. He was so much stronger than the others. It was as if a wolf had appeared in a kennel of blind newborn pups. What did he look like? He was covered from toe to tip in black armor that made it difficult to judge his size, but I think he was bigger than me. If my intuition's right, he is the villain you've all been talking about. The Black Knight. He's in that castle. Yes, Alencia is the new ally. No new gold, but I still have 60,000 to spend. There were no deaths and no injuries beyond our capabilities to heal. Everyone performed exceedingly well. That is all. By your leave, I will excuse myself.
Commander, can I speak to you for a moment?
What is it, Titania?
I have something important to ask of you.
All right, what is it?
I want you to tell me about the night Commander Grail was killed. I understand that it's difficult for you. However, I need to know. I have to. Just tell at once. It's all I ask. If you can't, his death will be something I'll never be able to face.
I feel I've done you a terrible disservice by not telling you earlier. It's just that there was a lot I had to get clear in my own mind. I know I've kept you waiting.
So you'll tell me?
Yes. I think I've finally come to the point where I can face it.
All right. Whenever you're ready.
That night, I've already told you everything up to where I was on my way into the forest, right? At the head of the path, Father had told me to go back to the fort, but I had a bad feeling and followed him anyway. When I entered the clearing, he and the Black Knight were already fighting. They seemed to be evenly matched at first. Then they exchanged a few more blows, and suddenly Father was sent flying. They spoke to each other for a moment, but I was so far away I couldn't hear what they said. Then the Black Knight threw a sword at Father's feet. I think he wanted Father to pick it up and use it. But Father didn't touch the sword. He just readied his axe again and charged. It was over in an instant. I couldn't believe my own eyes. They looked like they were embracing, just standing there, frozen. But I saw the Black Knight's blade. It was protruding from Father's back and shining in the moonlight.
Oh, Grail.
When the knight pulled his sword out, Father sagged and fell backwards. I ran and tried to catch him, but I couldn't hold him, and we both fell to the ground. The wound Father had taken was terrible, but at that point he was still alive. The Black Knight approached and said, "Give it to me." I had no idea what he was talking about. I do now, though. He had been sent by King Ashnard to retrieve the medallion. Father told him he'd thrown the medallion away, but the knight didn't believe him. Then he tried to get Father to talk by threatening to kill me, and missed. I was so angry I leapt up and attacked him, but it was useless. I didn't give up, though. I didn't care what happened to me, and I attacked again.
Of all the stubbornness.
If King Gallia hadn't been nearby, I probably would have died that night, too. After the Black Knight vanished, all I could think was that I didn't want Father to die. He was still alive. I thought if I could just get him back to the fort, we could save him. I clung to that false hope and started walking toward the light of the fort. I just kept walking.
Thank you, Ike. It must have been so hard for you.
Titania.
Commander Grail died on your back. His last moments must have been much happier than I had imagined. Thank you. Now I may finally move past my grief.
Titania.
Yes?
There's something else I haven't told you about. I met him. I met the Black Knight again.
What?
We fought.
You did very well to keep your life.
I'm not the same boy I was on that night. I've grown a lot. I've worked hard. Yet even so, I wasn't able to defeat him.
There's nothing you can do about that. Not even Commander Grail could defeat him. You're not ready to.
It's not that. It's not that my blade work wasn't good enough.
Then what do you mean?
Titania, it's his armor. It's impervious to damage.
What? That's not possible, even the strongest.
He said his armor had been blessed by the Blanker. He said only weapons that were also blessed could hurt him.
Where are we supposed to get something like that?
I have one here.
Ah, Ike. That sword. Where?
The night after Father died, I went back to the clearing by myself. I'd hoped to find some clues that might help me hunt down the knight. The sword was still there. I brought it back with me, and I've been hiding it ever since. I wasn't thinking about using it. I believed that if I just carried the sword with me, I'd meet the Black Knight again. And it worked.
So the sword will work against him?
It's supposed to. It was made to contest a Londite, which is the sword wielded by the Black Knight.
Do you think you have a chance?
I'll win.
All right. I won't stop you. Use that sword to avenge Commander Grell. But listen, Ike, you must promise me one thing.
What is it?
When you meet him, you'll exchange blows. If at that moment you don't feel you stand a chance, you must flee. There are times when running away is not the same as losing.
Don't you believe in me, Titania?
Of course I do. One day you will defeat the Black Knight, I'm sure of it. That's why I don't want you to lose your life on the first go-round. When the time comes, I promise not to interfere, and I won't let anyone else interfere either. I want you to face him one-on-one, and I want you to be calm and use your own best judgment. At times, withdrawing can be the key that unlocks a future victory. Don't forget that.
Understood. So obviously that's a bit of foreshadowing. Ike and Alencia. Is there something wrong, Princess?
Oh, my Lord Ike, I was getting prepared for the battle, but I'm having a hard time attaching the scabbard to my belt.
Let me see. Here's the problem. The buckle on the scabbard isn't fastened. There's a little trick to this. Don't move for a second. All right. That should do it.
Thank you. I just can't seem to do anything right. I can't even get myself ready for battle. Everyone else is all suited up.
Everyone here was the same way when they first started. In fact, it wasn't all that long ago when I was having a hard time fastening my scabbard.
Really?
That's right. But my father drilled me hard and tested my swordsmanship and survival skills before I could eat breakfast. We come from different worlds, Princess.
So that's how you learn so much.
Well, you don't need to practice so hard. You aren't born to be a mercenary like the rest of us war dogs. You'll just get yourself killed if you jump into this rough and nasty war unprepared.
I understand.
Just don't worry about it. There's no shame in asking for help from the rest of us. We'll be there to back you up.
Thank you, my Lord Ike.
Anytime, Princess Alencia. This is a wonderful thing. See, I have absolutely... Oh, they can raise another support in the same one? That's crazy. This is how you know I just never knew this. So I have never done an Ike and Alencia support because usually by this point in the game I have well decided long beforehand that it's just better to give Ike 2 or 3 supports before Alencia would ever join. And the reason why that is because, well, it's kind of obvious. If you have supports earlier in the game, they can be helpful earlier in the game. It's like the idea of hoarding stat boosters. If you use the stat boosters as soon as you get them, you don't have to worry about whether they went to proper use or whether they did their function or job, and you get more out of them for a longer period of time. So I know I kind of didn't do all that when I gave Alencia all those stat boosters, but it's okay. That was part of my plan. You don't need any of them to make your way through this game. That is for certain. Princess Alencia, you're still here?
Oh, my Lord Ike. Well, I was getting a little practice in. I don't want to be a burden to everyone else.
Wouldn't it be better to have a training partner?
I'd feel guilty asking someone to train with me. It would be a waste of time. I am no match for his skill.
I meant what I said earlier, about not hesitating to ask for help, but I guess you decided to ignore me.
No, it's not like that at all. I heard what you said, but I still feel so.
I know how powerless and frustrated you must feel. It was a terrifying feeling when I discovered my father had left me in command of the Grail mercenaries. But there's a huge difference between inheriting a country and a band of mercenaries, isn't there?
Not at all. You're absolutely right. It's hard, knowing what kind of responsibility I have, and just how unsuited I am to take it.
Over the last year, I learned a lot from all those battles. Mostly I learned that there are many things I can't do on my own. Everything I achieved was possible only because of the people around me. I trust them completely, and I'm not ashamed to ask for help. That goes for you too. You're not alone.
That's a great way to look at it. Thank you.
Alright, I was halfway expecting to potentially get an A rank this chapter. That would have been kind of funny. But no, I guess that would have to wait till the next chapter. However, with all that being said, I have much to do to get prepared for this most interesting of chapters coming up. I'll see you all in a few. Alright, gamers. Upon further inspection, I think the 60,000 gold that I have is a bit much, and I was thinking about potentially making a good old forge for my friend Tyronio. And this thing is going to be called Fulfilled, actually. But the reason you could probably guess if you were to well, I'll just say that you could guess. Fulfilled, wishless, wishful, and fulfilled. So this is mighty. 20 might, 100 hit, 9 crit. I don't think you need to make a lance this powerful at any way, shape, or form. And I do absolutely understand that could be seen as overkill, especially because it's not like you can use it against certain bosses coming up. But with that being said, I thought it would be fun to give him specifically a damaging weapon for the sake of his need to have such powerful weapons. General Ike, please come with me. We're getting ready to have a war council and discuss tomorrow's battle.
So Black Knight's in that castle, is he?
There's little doubt of it. That Bjork's a real handful. Even when I attacked him in cat form, I barely scratched him. It's his armor. It's apparently blessed by the Ghana. Ordinary weapons, natural or no, can't damage it. Oh, that's just swell. So how are we supposed to defeat him? Angry looks? Leave that to me. I've got a sword that should be effective against him. I don't like it, but I suppose there's no choice. We don't use weapons or shields. Those are Bjork tools for Bjork alone. Very well. If the villain in question appears, we'll leave him to General Ike. Now then, shall we determine who among us storms the castle?
Ike, can I talk to you?
Not right now, Mist. We're discussing battle strategy.
I know that. Even so, please, it'll only take a moment.
Mist, I promise I'll make time later. Be patient and wait quietly. What is it? Oh, beauteous one.
I feel a bit dizzy. May I rest a moment?
Oh, what foul deed is this that rears its head? Gods of war, do charge a heavy toll, bewitch us and attack our very minds. The princess, she is faint and o'ertired. Forgive your humble servant this trespass. Hark, my dear, and bless me with your arm. Good folk, we shall retire for a spell. Of course. Princess, please rest and allow us to proceed with these preparations.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
What is it? Come on, Mist. You realize the princess was making time for you to talk with me, don't you?
Well, I thought I could talk to you later, but then I changed my mind and wanted to talk to you now.
I've been hoping to talk to you too. I haven't heard very much from you since the other day.
Yeah, I'm sorry. When you told us that story, I was so shocked. That's why.
The part about Mother's death and about Father, right?
Uh-huh.
That's only natural. So, have you come to some kind of understanding with it all? Is that it?
At first, I couldn't believe it. The stuff about the medallion and the revival of the Dark God and all of that, none of it sounded real. And everything about Father, that was even more unbelievable, but it was all I could think about. But I didn't want to think about it anymore. It made my head hurt. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't even sleep. I would just lie awake at night and stare at the tent walls.
Yeah, I was the same way.
I guess my body finally reached its limit. Last night I fell asleep. And when I woke up this morning, I don't know, it was all gone. I only had one emotion left.
One emotion? What was that?
It's hard to say. Sympathy, I suppose.
For Mother?
Uh-huh, and for Father. I think more for him than anyone else. Father and Mother were in love, weren't they? And then the medallion, it made Father go, what did you say? Berserk? When he returned to himself, he found Mother. When Father died, it hurt so much I thought I was going to die. Father must have felt the same. No, he must have felt even worse.
I think you're right. And Father kept it all to himself, too. Mother, the medallion, being hunted, he never said a word to us. It was his burden alone.
The man who killed Father was that knight we saw in Port Toha, right? The one in the black armor?
Yes.
You're going to fight him, aren't you, for Father?
Yes, I am. That's one thing I won't let anyone else do in my stead.
Trying to stop you is pointless, I know. If I were stronger, if I were a sword fighter, I'd be doing the same thing.
You with the rune sword are every bit Ike's equal when it comes to combat, Mist. Mist.
But you must keep your promise. You promised to lead the company in Father's place and to protect me. If you go and get yourself killed, I'll never forgive you.
I understand. That's why I'm not going to lose.
I know.
How are you feeling, Princess?
It was a lie. I'm not feeling unwell at all. I'm sorry I fooled you.
Ah, I knew it all along. It was all for Ike and Mist, was it not? It would appear, my dear princess, that you care for them greatly.
I witnessed the death of both my father and my mother. Soldiers fell one after the other, and then I was separated from Jeffrey. It was Ike and his friends who rescued me. If not for them, I'm sure I would be dead by now. My lord Ike and Mist, too, know the pain that I carry with me, the pain of losing one's parents in war. That may account for why the two of them, right from the beginning, were so warm and friendly. They gave me the support I needed to survive. Mist and I have continuously encouraged each other to go on. So,
they rescued you and you are your patrons. There are those among the soldiers who complain in jealousy of Ike's station, but it is a trivial matter. We, the retainers of House Crimea, find this general very much to our liking.
Bastion, I'm pleased to hear it.
Enough plain speaking. I must ready my silver tongue anew. Shall we return to the council?
Yes.
Nado's Castle.
Sir Knight, the Crimean army will renew their assault to the castle momentarily. The troops we face are not the half-breeds we fought yesterday. It is the army that bested General Bertram. They are not what one would call an easy opponent.
Resolve it.
I beg your pardon?
Hayfand, you are in command. The castle defenses are on your shoulders. I have business with General Ina.
Understood.
Nado's Castle yet again. Is everyone ready? The castle's strength has been bolstered with reinforcements from the capital. Though that is true, or may be true according to the story, this castle has way less opponents than good old Fort Pinell. We must strike now before any more can arrive. If the Black Knight appears, don't try to engage him. He is mine. I will take care of him. Choose units. Yeah, so I was afraid of this. I kind of want to bring Volk, but in the case of having to bring Volk, I'm gonna have to bench one of my units, and I don't very well like that because, well, I want to use all my units to make this go quicker. Man, that is kind of a shame. So, in lieu of that, I think what I'm going to end up doing is probably benching Stefan. I don't really want to, but I think that's for the best. One thing I'm going to do is I'm breaking up my party into 3 major groups. One that's going to go to the left, one that's going to go to the middle, and one that's going to go to the right. If I'm not mistaken, there are several chest keys that can be absconded from the enemies. Yeah, double bow. This is the S-rank bow in this game. A unique bow made by a master craftsman. It's powerful but difficult to wield. Do you see this? 7 might. It has a range of 4, which is very interesting, but 7 might? 7? Okay, so yes, one of these guys does have a chest key, so you don't need to worry about sending a chest key over here. However, you do absolutely want to send a chest key to whatever side Volk is not going on. I think he's going to go to the left. Alright, Tormod, Devdan, Alincia, Ike, and Rayson will go north. And then... Actually, I take that back. I kind of want... Well, I kind of definitely want Toronio to go north with Ike. Maybe I'll have Toronio and Shin on. I'll have these 3 go left. These 3 go... Well, these 3 go left. These 3 go right. Directions, you know. Not that difficult. I think this should be well enough. I did put the rune sword on good old Mist. That's a lot of damage from this magical weapon. I can't wait to utilize it. I love how that both Alincia and Mist both are using magic swords. It's actually my favorite thing about Fire Emblem is the unique stuff. Magical weapons, preferential weapons, interesting things. It's one of the reasons why, yes, and I have to bring it up, Thracia is a beloved title. I did not mention this before, but the reason why I have a MIDI is because I allowed Lucia, Bastion, and Jeffrey to survive. You do have to let them survive before Alincia joins. I know this is a chapter off of when that should have been said, but it is still pertinent knowledge, and I thought I'd rectify that little bit of information. However, with that being said, this is time to bid our farewells. I want to thank you for joining me. If you like my content, please upvote and follow, or like and subscribe, depending on your platform. And while you're at it, have a great and glorious day gaming.